Okay, now let's see about the class called string. So string is a class in Java. So it is provided by the Java library. So we need not declare the string class and we need not write the body for string class. Okay, so we can directly use it because it is already provided by Java library. So it is present in the Java package called java.lang. Okay, this string class is present inside java.lang package. So lang, okay, java.lang package, but we need not import this. Okay, essentially we supposed to write like this, but we need not write like this. No? Import java.lang dot star. So this line not necessary in the sense this java.lang package is a default package and which will be imported automatically. We need not explicitly import this package java.lang. Okay, that is important to note. Okay, you can either write this line at the top of your code or you need not write this because this java.lang is a default package which will be implicitly added. Okay, but coming to this java.util, essentially the scanner class is present inside the util library, that is java.util package, which you need to import. If you don't import java.util, then you will not be able to use scanner class in your program. Okay. Okay, coming to string class, and this string class is present inside this Java package called java.lang. Okay, so if you want to use string, you have to import this java.lang package and then you can start using it. Okay, since it is a default package which will be imported automatically, so you need not essentially import this explicitly. So later we shall talk about packages. So what are packages? Now how can we use packages in our program? That we shall see later. Okay. Now let's see what is the string. Okay, so string is a sequence of characters. So as you know, the general definition of a string is a sequence of characters. Now, how to create an object of type string? Okay, that is the question we have. And how can we essentially create strings in Java? And strings in Java can be created in two ways. So there are two ways. Either we can use a string literal, something called a string literal, and you can also use this new keyword in order to create string in Java. So there are two ways by which we can essentially create string in Java. So using the new keyword, you can create it, or using string literal, you can create it. There are two ways to create a string in Java. Okay, so now coming to strings. So strings are immutable. So let's see why they are immutable. So immutable means once we create it, we cannot change the size of it, or we cannot change anything in it, which means once a string is created, we will not be able to change the size of the string, or we cannot change any character in that particular string. We cannot change anything in it. So you cannot change the character which is created, or we cannot change anything in the string. So that is the meaning of immutability. Okay, so strings are immutable in Java. And why is it done that way is, so inside a heap there is something called as constant pool. So you just think of this circle as a heap, and then inside this heap there is something called as constant pool. So now whatever constants we write in our program, all of them will be saved in this constant pool. So now when you try to create an object by using this string literal, if you want to create a string using this string literal, then first JVM will check whether the particular string is already present inside the constant pool or not. Okay, say for example, let me just try to create a string literal this way. So string is a name of the class, so that S must be capital letter. So string S equal to, so S is a reference variable of type string class, and then I'm going to, let's say I'm going to initialize this reference variable with the value computer. So assume that this is the way how we can essentially create a string literal in Java. So string yes equal to computer. So now what JVM will do is, first JVM will check whether this string computer is already present inside this constant pool or not. Okay, so it will first check it out. In case is not present, so in this case the computer string is not present in the constant pool, then it is going to add it to the constant pool, which means your object is created inside this constant pool, so that this string computer will be written inside this constant pool. Okay, which means now the object is created inside this constant pool, and now this reference yes will be made to refer to that particular object, which means this yes will now be pointing to this object, string object. Okay, so now this reference variable yes will be made to refer to that particular string, let's say computer in this case. Okay, therefore x is yes is going to be referring this computer string, so inside this constant pool. So now let us say we create two more strings. Let's say we create s1 and s2. Okay. Okay, let me just erase the screen. Now let's see that two more strings are created. Okay, let us say string s1 equal to computer. So the same thing will happen here, which means if the string computer is not present inside this constant pool, then this computer will be placed inside this constant pool. Okay, and then since this computer is not already present, so now this computer is going to be added here, and now s1 is going to point to this string computer. Okay, now let's say one more string is getting created, that is string s2, which is also equal to computer. So again it is going to be created using the same string literal. So these are the ways by which we essentially create a string using string literal, because we are straight away assigning a string to the string reference variable. So this is the way how we essentially construct a string using string literal. Okay, and now this string literal is given the same string computer. See that already there is a string literal with a string computer, and now we again create one more string literal with the same string computer. So then what is going to happen here is s2 is going to refer to the same entry here. So s2 also now start referring to the same string inside the constant pool. Okay, why? Because before creating this object with a literal computer, it will check in this constant pool. It will check in the constant pool. JVM will essentially check for this string in the constant pool whether it is already present or not. Okay, yes, in this case it is already present. That is why now we are going to make both s1 as well as s2 to refer to the same entry in the constant pool. Okay, here both s1 as well as s2 are referring to the same string literal computer in this case. Okay. Now the reason why we are making strings as immutable is, since both of them are pointing to the same entry, same string computer, which means both s1 as well as s2 are referring to the same object in this case. So if s2 tries to change the content of this particular object computer, particular string object computer, then whoever using this reference s2 will also see those changes, right? Now see that both s1 and s2 are pointing to the same string object. Both are referring to the same string object. Now if s2 tries to make changes to the content of this particular string computer, then whoever using S1 will also be seeing those changes. But then the usage of S1, which means the person who created S1 may not want it to change it, may not want this string to be modified. So but then it is now changed by S2. So now whatever changes are done by S2 are also being seen by S1. So we do not want that kind of behavior. So we want it to be a kind of read only. So we do not want to change it or overwrite it. So that is the reason why strings are made as immutable. Okay, since this string is now pointed out or referred by more than one references, so if we make changes to this string, and then these changes will be even visible to all of them, but the one who created this string may not want it to be changed. So that is why strings are immutable. So no one will be allowed to make changes to this string. So how is it, what are the implementation details behind immutability? We shall see later. Okay. So as of now, remember, strings are immutable in Java, and the meaning of immutability is string cannot be modified. Okay, we cannot either change the size of the string or we cannot change anything in the string. Okay, and now let us say we want to change this literal, let's say computer. We want to change this literal computer. Let us say we want to change this string object computer, or you want to append something to this string computer, and we want to make it as let's say computer science. So we just want to make this string as computer science. So let's see what happens here. Now in this case, look at this line of code. Look at this line of code, and inside this string class we have something called as concat method, and concat method can be used in order to concatenate two strings. Okay, but later we shall see what are the various string handling methods we have. But for this example, let us just see what happens this case. So now in this case, there is a statement s1 equal to s1 dot concat of science. Now there is a new string literal which is used in this line. So first the string literal science will be created inside the constant pool. So in this case, the science is not present as of now inside this constant pool. So that now the string literal science is now created inside the constant pool. So why is it created? Because it will assume that in future someone might use this string science. Okay. And moreover, the string science is not already present. That's why it has created it. So now science will be created, and then it will also create one more string called computer science, and it will check if computer science string is present in this constant pool anywhere. Okay, in case if it is not present, then it is going to create computer science in one of the entries. Okay, now it will make, and moreover it will make s1 to point to this string computer science. So s1 will now refer to this computer science. So s is so s1 is no longer referring to the computer anymore, but earlier s1 was pointing to computer. Soon after this line s1 equal to s1 dot concat of science, what happens here is one more string object called computer science is created, and now s1 is made to refer to this string computer science, because this computer and science is now joined together and it is now being referred by s1. So that is the meaning of this line. Okay, so now that is how it is going to happen. So finally s1 is going to point to computer science and not computer. Okay, so since string is immutable, we are not actually manipulating the original object in order to get the desired behavior. So what is the behavior we are expecting here? We want to merge or we want to append a string to another string. So we have a string computer, and we want to join this string science along with this computer. That is the behavior we want. Since string is immutable in Java, we are not actually manipulating the original string, let's say computer or science. So these two strings are as it is present. We are actually creating a new object. We are creating a new object, and which is going to have a string computer science. So that is what is going to happen internally. Okay. Now, even if we use these two lines, string s1 equal to computer and string s2 equal to computer. Now what happens here is one entry will be created in the constant pool. One entry will be created in the constant pool, and both of them will be referring to the same entry as shown here. Okay, at the time when we write these two lines of code, this is what going to happen in heap memory. So only one entry for computer is created, and both s1 and s2 are made to refer to this string computer. Okay, which means both of them will be referring to the same entry in the constant pool. Now let's see how to create a string object using new keyword. Okay, let's see how to create a string object using the new keyword or new operator. Now this is the syntax in order to create a string using new keyword. So now if you are going to use new string, and then if we pass a string as an argument to this constructor string, and if you are going to use this string literal, let's say computer in this case, inside this constructor string, then what happens? Okay, let's see what is going to happen in this case. So first thing is inside the heap, okay, there is something called as constant pool. So inside the heap there is something called as constant pool. In this constant pool, it will check, JVM will check if computer is available. So if computer is not available, then it is going to write it there. Okay, assume that in this case computer is not there in the constant pool, so it is now going to write it inside this constant pool for future purpose. So that is what going to happen. Along with that, along with writing a string computer inside the constant pool, it is also going to create a string object. It is also going to create a string object which is shown again inside the heap, because generally objects are going to be created inside the heap only. Okay, so now it is going to create a string object, and inside that object it is going to it is going to have an array of characters. Okay, there is going to be an array of characters, and then it is going to copy all these characters one by one into this. For example, this string, this character S will be C will be written here, and then this character O will be written here, and then M will be written here, and this P will be written here, and one by one the characters from this constant pool will be taken, and it will be written into this string object. So this is what is going to happen when we essentially use new keyword in order to create a string. Okay, that is what is shown in this slide. Okay, so it is going to copy all these characters one by one into the string object. So finally you are going to see two objects inside the heap. So one object is going to be present in the constant pool, that is here, and then the other object is going to be present outside the constant pool but inside the heap memory in terms of a string object. So now what this S will be pointing to? So S will now be pointing to this string object, because this entire string object is now assigned to S. So S now start pointing to the object which is created inside the heap. Okay, when we do like this, so string, let's say string S equal to, let's say computer. So in this case what will happen is, so in this case, because here in this example we are creating a string using string literal. In this case S will be pointing to this entry in the constant pool, and since here in this case we have used a new keyword in order to create a string object, so a string object is going to be created. How it is going to be created? an object is going to be created, and inside this object there is going to be an array of characters, and then one by one characters from this constant pool will be taken and it will be into this character array. Now the reference to this object will be now placed in this yes. So now yes is made pointing to this string object. So that is how we can essentially create string object using new operator. Okay, so these are the two ways by which we can essentially create strings in Java. One is by using string literal, that is this one. One is by using string literal, and then the second way is to create a string using